Good morning, La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Moyer. Good morning, La La Land.
And we are so excited. We're not going to be talking about fires today, but we're going to be talking about the heat in the studio around dating, love, and relationships.
I love it.
Right?
And we've got
excited?
an expert right here. It's so funny because I was on my way to the studio and my mom called. And she said, I'm so excited for today's show. I want to know all about love and dating, mainly so she can regurgitate your advice to me. And she was like,
awesome.
you know, oh, that Rob Mack, you know, he's an expert. I saw him on E! Like, yes, Mom.
As my blood pressure rises.
So Rob is a love coach on Famously Single.
Yep.
And then I also teach metaphysics of relationships, not just in dating, but in all relationships, relationships to life, relationships to everything. So,
And I just date in Los Angeles and try
Right?
to figure it out.
Which makes you an expert in your own right.
She's
No
the
question.
smartest one out
Yes,
of all of us.
exactly. Absolutely.
So we're excited because Fridays we get to just talk about dating, love, and relationships.
Yeah.
So love my voice. It's really sexy. I've decided
Raspy
I'm
today.
gonna just own this whole thing. So we're so excited. We're gonna kind of go through some hot topics in LA, talk about like the top dating matchmakers in town. We've got the best places to date, the first, third, fifth, and so on dates. And then later in the show, we're going to take you to the back studio. We have two dating experts. First off, we have Rhonda Richards-Smith and we have Amanda Cockrell. And so we are so excited to talk to these lovely women and get down and dirty back there.
Speaking about being excited, first of all, this is show number 5 for Good Morning La La Land. It is our first week. We are making history here at Focus TV. We are the first live streaming daily talk show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We did it. Week 1, you guys.
Love that.
Week
Celebration.
1.
Absolutely.
Cheers to that. We should celebrate.
Celebrating right now.
But before we celebrate this weekend, what did you guys do last night?
There was a holiday party at Casa Del Mar. It's
We're
pretty cool.
already holiday partying.
Holiday already? You have to. It's an entire month of celebration.
I just want to see the outfit that you wore. You're the best dressed in all of Los Angeles.
You two cannot speak. Look at this. This is fantastic.
He showed up in a full ombre suit. I mean,
Ombre.
Honestly.
do you dress yourself or do you have help with this?
You know, I actually have a stylist. My good friend Melanie Whittle is an amazing stylist.
didn't know that.
Yeah, she's
That was a really natural plug there.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
she's-
actually went on.
Yeah, it's actually true. Yeah, she's been doing it for decades, and she's just fantastic. Absolutely.
Speaking of, look
Yes.
at your shirt.
So
Yes.
thank you. I'm so excited. I went to an amazing new pop-up on 8378 Melrose last night. I met Lauren, co-founder of Luella Rockefeller. And thank you so much, girl. I'm loving my look today. She's got
gorgeous.
an incredible story. And you know, this is what this show is all about, is being a part of this community and finding out who's really making a difference and an influence. I'm so excited. I talked to her. First of all, her clothes are amazing. Her story is even more incredible. And I said, you know what? I want to have you on the show. Not only do I want to wear the clothes on the show, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I want to tell your story. So I don't want to give it all away now. We're going to invite her to the studio next week, but I'm so excited. I was so excited to get dressed this morning. Don't you love those days when you wake up and you're like, oh, I have a really cool outfit to put on?
Everyone was like, what would I wear on a first date, right? So let's dive into, here at Focus TV Network, we have had some incredible interviews that have come through this studio. We have everything from April Breyer, who's one of the top matchmakers. I've interviewed her along with somebody else, and she was actually in one of our magazines. So you want to talk about that a minute?
Sure. You know what? April Breyer was featured in the Focus dating issue, and you guys, she is shopping for wives, which is so interesting. She has a really exclusive dating service level, and it's so funny because I had a personal experience with her before this even happened at StyleCon a couple weeks ago. And she came up to me and she said, you know what, I wanted to introduce myself. Are you single? Because I really think that you're a very eligible bachelorette. One,
yes,
I couldn't
you
be
are.
more
She is.
flattered. But two, I was really kind of taken aback because I'd never been kind of sought out like that before in a way where somebody
By
was,
a woman.
by a woman,
Right.
yeah, who was shopping for wives for a man. Crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know what I love about April is that she's not looking to have do the typical older rich man, younger woman. She's looking to truly have connection at an authentic place. She's a presence about her that I've never experienced when I'm interviewing people. She really holds this space of knowledge and wisdom. She's been doing it for over 20 years.
Wow.
she's a great one, and she's now taking it to where she actually has it automated. I think it's called Up Level, and I highly recommend her services because she knows what she's doing. She does personality tests and breaks it all down.
Wow, love that.
Yeah, now I know you've interviewed her on the Dr. Erin show.
I have.
I'm repping the Dr. Erin
Nice,
mug
nice
this
plug.
morning. But I'd really love to invite her to the studio because I certainly have more questions, especially about the wife shopping experience.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I'm a little offended by that, maybe, but I don't know. I'm not offended, but I think it's a little old school.
Yeah.
Just,
Rob,
maybe.
No
do you
comment.
ever-
No comment.
You are like the coach, you
Yeah.
are the love guru. Do you help people
Yeah.
in that way? Do you
The
seek and
matchmaking?
find?
No,
Yeah.
I refer them out to people like April. Yeah, I refer the matchmaking part out. I help people sort of get comfortable with the dating process and get comfortable with sort of communicating with each other on an authentic level.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't do so much of the matchmaking. It's more of the hard work stuff that
Yeah, the real
people
work.
don't always love. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
you bring up a good point because part about being comfortable is being comfortable in your environment. And where you go on your first date
Wow.
in Los Angeles,
That's everything.
a lot of pressure. So I was reading another article here in Focus, and it was a really great article because it gave some insight into where you would go on your first date, your third date, your fifth date.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about it. It's by Laurel House.
Love Laurel House. That's
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
Laurel. So
Yes.
you guys were on.
Yeah, Laurel House was the female dating expert, along with me, on E's Famously Single.
Wow.
Love
it's
Laurel,
such a
good friend of
small
mine.
world. Like
It's
Focus
tiny.
TV has like brought in the best of the best, honestly.
Yeah, Laurel's fantastic. She's obviously written multiple books, and of course she's got this article, but I absolutely love Laurel.
Okay, so Laurel had some great suggestions when I read through the article on what you should look for in a place you go to on the first date. So she said it should be something kind of very bachelor-esque, dim lighting, flowers. To me, it seems like almost a little cliche, but I guess there is a science behind creating that ambiance for the first date.
Yeah.
Sounds like my apartment. is that not a good thing?
I think first dates are
so
very.
good.
I think first dates are very important, and the reason why is because I think it's setting the precedence of what your true intentions are for that relationship. And look, it's not cheap to go out in Los Angeles.
No, it's not.
And if you're really going like, oh, I really like this person, then it's an investment to take them out and really, have a truly romantic, mindful setting, someplace that has a lot of meaning to it. Don't you think?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Laurel recommended Esther's in Santa Monica, which is really great, perfect. Got patio, different little
I've never
spaces
been
you can
there.
go to, and also the LA Arboretum.
No.
No. What's the other place?
The LA Arboretum.
Oh, wow, that's super cool.
Have you been there?
Yes, yes.
What was
that's
it like?
awesome. It's beautiful. I think anywhere that you go that you feel comfortable and it's beautiful and allows you to talk.
No, I'll tell you the best
Yeah.
place.
Oh, no.
The best place in all of LA, in my opinion, is the Little Next Door. The most romantic relationship in all of Los Angeles. It's on 3rd in West Hollywood. You go in, you have no idea. It's just like a door. You walk in, and it's this old, home that they've converted into a restaurant, and it has these strung lights, and it's their music selection, the food, everything. If you want to impress somebody and set the precedence, I highly recommend the Little Next Door.
Well, first dates don't always go as planned, as most of us know. What's your worst first date in LA, Erin?
Ooh.
Boom, hot seat. You thought it was hot before.
The worst first date, that's a great question. I haven't dated a lot in LA, quite frankly. I was finishing up my doctorate, and that's a whole other conversation about that. I think that the worst first date, in my opinion, is somebody who doesn't have a plan. Like from a woman's perspective, I'm a straight woman, and from a woman's perspective, I want the man to kind of know what he wants in life, be able to decide, execute. That's how I'm going to feel safe. That's how I'm going to feel like he's doing this in all areas of his life. If he's kind of sporadic, and it's like, well, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? That's great on the second or third date, but the first date, I think it's really important to know with clarity and power what you're up to.
It's such an interesting point, and I think a lot of course, most women, I think a lot of women will resonate with that. And on the other side of the fence, for the guys love, I think, making decisions to a large extent. That being said, a lot of guys really enjoy the freedom and flexibility of letting things unfold as they will. So that's one of the challenges. Yes, it is. That's one of the challenges and opportunities of dating in LA.
I think you guys should write us in and let us know what you think about which one. There's no great formula. These are very specific. These are not things that we teach in our practice. We don't teach like how to go on the first date. We teach about getting in tune and loving yourself
But-
enough to be able to, not
You know what
project
though? There's
into-
something about not putting a lot of pressure on the first date. You know, dating some of these younger guys, a lot of people want to keep it super casual. They want to Netflix
It's
and
true.
chill,
Yeah.
right? They don't want to go to some uber romantic, high pressure, high cost restaurant. They want to keep it casual.
Yeah.
But
Tough.
Yeah, but you can do, and we're gonna go. We want to do some segments on that, like free places to date. You can still plan things. You can still get some takeout, go to a park, have it planned, have it done. You don't have to have it be some, $200 dinner, but there's got to be a plan.
Rob, do you ever like it when the woman makes the decision on the
Absolutely.
date?
Absolutely. Take the pressure off.
Is it okay to do that on the
Yeah.
first date? Like if I've got a great first date idea,
Yeah.
is it okay to say, hey, meet me here?
I don't mind that at all. I like the idea of someone saying, hey, I like this place, you can't, if we're not sure where to go, there's always this option or that option. I love the idea of having a conversation. It can be a very quick, easy conversation, but that's just me personally. I'm a little bit more laid back that way.
So what about like the third? Because I really believe that there's a point in time that you don't want to
Yeah.
have the facade of a perfect, restaurant, have a facade of all that. You get into like maybe even going over to their house on the fifth date or something and knowing like, do I feel comfortable in this person's space?
Yeah.
Well,
Can we have
absolutely.
fun without spending much
So
money?
in the article, Laurel mentioned that the third date should not be a restaurant date. She suggested maybe getting takeout, maybe going to a movie, doing something that's a little bit more active to really see if you like having a conversation besides dinner and drinks with this person to create that quality time.
I love that.
Yeah,
So
it's
a trip to Bali may not be. I've literally had clients that have asked me, like, hey, is it okay that I ask them to go like to Bali? I'm
Yes,
like, how
it
many
is.
dates in are you? Like 2, 3? I'm like, maybe wait.
Don't wait.
Right,
Don't
just
take
wait.
me to Bali.
Right.
Let me know.
That's right. Let them know.
Right?
Yeah.
Then for sure I want to go with you on date number 5. If you're taking
Right.
me to Bali on date number 3,
Right.
like we're going on date number 5. Which then she brought up, and Laurel, when I say she, Laurel brought up maybe doing something even more romantic to really show, hey, you know what, by date number 5, I am committed to this. I have decided I really like you. I enjoy your time together. And I really want to see where this goes beyond that.
Yeah.
But for me, I know not many relationships have even gotten to date number 5. I know by date number 1 whether or not I want to hang out with the person again.
Right. Also,
Okay.
like say you went on a hike or something with somebody where they're not just completely comfortable in an extravagant restaurant. Like, who is this person in the face of, getting uncomfortable? Are they going to be like having to constantly put on their makeup? Are they someone who's easygoing? Are they going with the flow? Are they not going with the flow? Things like that. Like, how do you get to know someone? I also think going and meeting a few of their friends. Like, how do they interact, or do they even have friends? Some people like don't have any friends. You're like, this is not a healthy person.
Yeah. A little odd.
Little off.
Well, Rob, how do you get comfortable on a first date? Because that is one of the most uncomfortable, most awkward
Yeah.
things ever.
Well, lots of whiskey. I think we talked about that yesterday. As much alcohol as you can possibly consume, as quickly as you can possibly consume it.
From the
He's
That
lunch
always
hour.
helps. Yeah. It's not generally a good idea. I personally, but it's easier for me sometimes to talk from a male's perspective, but I like asking questions. Like questions that I actually want to know the answers to, not questions that I'm just asking in order to fill the dead or the silent space in between us. So genuine questions that I'm interested about. And I just like sort of filling it out sort of step by step.
Like, what questions are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah, so I would say questions, so the kind of questions I care about is, how are you enjoying LA? I might start there, just simple, okay? And then of course you have the traditional small talk because you want to build personal rapport in a place that's comfortable for both of you in the beginning. But then you can easily transition into deeper questions. So eventually I might get to questions like, what do you truly want to do with your life? Like what inspires you at the deepest level? Like why are you?
Yeah.
You're so serious.
I am.
I've
It's
never.
important.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever been on a first date where
Yeah.
we've explored those topics.
really?
Yeah.
I'm not, see,
Maybe
I don't
I'm
have,
too young to have like these
Well,
serious
no.
first dates.
I'm not
we,
in-
we have the distinction of being interesting and being interested.
Yes.
Like it's like a nice tennis match in conversation, and sometimes people dominate. They're only interesting. And they're not interested. I think there's got to be a flow of back and forth. And like you said, like if someone's talking about something very I don't want to say shallow, but something very simple, you're not going to dive at the next question of
Right.
like, so tell me your deepest thoughts of the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to play at that level of wherever that person's at.
Maybe I'm too guarded, but I don't want to tell my deepest thoughts of the world to somebody I met on a first
Well,
date.
right. That's why you're constantly calibrating the whole time. You're calibrating and recalibrating, And that's why you can't really, there's no substitute for emotional intelligence, right? So if somebody who's emotionally intelligent is going to fill that out and say, oh, she doesn't want to go there, that's fine. They ask questions that you do feel comfortable with. And if you feel that people are going too deep too quickly, then maybe that's not the right person for you.
Okay, so on that note, we actually have to take a little break. And I'm so excited because when we come back, we're going to take a look at BuzzFeed's 27 symptoms of dating in Los Angeles, and it's hilarious. I can't wait to show you guys this, so stay tuned.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Odiva TV. And right now we're in the Focus TV studios in Hollywood.
Happy Wednesday, Empoweristas. It's Alex Worley.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paffrath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the world.
Hi, this is Alyssa Goodman Show, and I am Alyssa Goodman.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay, Edwina Chia.
Hey, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Gillette with Focus TV, and this is the Spotlight Series.
Hey LA, I'm Gwen Lane with the LA Girl.
Hey everybody, Terry here, host of the interview series Success Beyond Beauty.
Hi, I'm Fern Olivia, and welcome to Central Intelligence TV.
Hi, I'm Janet Gunn here with Focus TV for my segment of Fearless Females.
Rhonda, you guys doing okay back there?
Way too bright. Okay, coming down.
Still awake.
Here.
Is there an in-between?
There.
We can go back to that.
Here.
What's that?
I didn't go back to that, like said.
That's okay.
I
You did the first time.
I did?
Yeah, you did once. Maybe we'll get a minute again here.
That solves that.
So my mom,
Your mom is dope.
she's
She's
so funny.
sweet. She's
So she called me back because she slipped on the ice. It's like, you know,
Oh.
obviously winter in
Yeah, we're
Michigan.
gonna come back and introduce them. Let's keep this one short. The BuzzFeed is super funny. Play around with that one, but after that, let's see if we can get back to them. Because that's gonna be the really good stuff, and you probably take that into the right, I'm excited for that.
And she slipped and
Super excited.
she came back in the house because she's letting the dog out. She told my dad, she said, oh, I almost died letting the dog out. And he was like, oh, that's too bad. And she's like, you know, he's being sarcastic, right? And she's like, well, geez. He's like, listen, I'm about to get ready.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land, and today is Friday, which is Friday Feeling. It's all about dating, love, and relationships. So I want to show you guys an article, BuzzFeed, which is hilarious. They have an article on 27 symptoms of dating in Los Angeles, and I don't want to show all of them, but I thought a few of these are so hilarious.
Well, first of all, the tagline for this article is hilarious. It's, oh my gosh, why do you live so far away?
It's so true. So number one.
So true. Yeah, literally.
I mean, literally in LA, it's going to be an hour if
Yeah.
you live like 5 miles away.
Yeah, I live in Hollywood, and pretty much if you live anywhere on the west side, this relationship's not going to work.
Wow. So we are basically barely friends right now. We're only friends.
Easy moments of like 3 mile zone kind of a thing.
No, really, but like,
You're in the friend zone, you're in the non-friend zone, you're in the dating
Wow.
zone.
That's interesting, isn't it? You get friend zone based on area code or zip code.
Well,
it's
I mean,
true. No, honestly though, because the logistics of seeing each other, or if you spend the night at each other's house, and then what 4 miles you have to drive is 45 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a serious commitment right there.
Shit.
They really better be like spouse material if you're
honestly, right?
crossing the Brea.
So I don't know if you guys can see on the screen if they're pulling up back there, but the second one is, if you're in LA, it's like you can tell if they're an actor just by looking at their OkCupid profile picture.
I laughed out loud when I saw this picture, and you know, nothing in this town. How do you avoid that stereotype, Rob?
Wow, I don't know. It's a great question.
Right?
I guess you would have to develop a personality and identity that goes beyond
Okay,
acting.
no, but what about you? Because
Right,
you're
me.
also a personality.
Yeah,
People have
it's
seen
true.
you on TV. Do
Yeah.
you think that hinders your dating relationships?
Yes, I will say that like one of the greatest hurdles to dating relationships for me is being known as a dating relationship coach.
Oh, wow.
Everybody expects you to
Really?
be perfect,
I
right?
never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
The pressure.
Yes, I would love to ask Amanda and Rhonda, who we have coming up a little bit later, about their experience with
Right?
that too.
That's a good one.
Has that been your experience
That's
at all?
interesting.
or-
Well, I think that if you're in LA and you're, a lot of people are public figures or in the limelight, or they've got to be on their social media a lot. And I think it is one of those things that you have to know, like, this is part of my life, and it's not going to work for everyone, and that's okay. But some people it really bothers if they're, on Instagram or things like that. And there's a balance to it for sure.
Yeah.
But it is part of my life. I post pictures about myself, and like people can be okay with that or not okay.
So number 3, I thought was hilarious.
Right?
It's so LA.
So
Number 3 on the
LA.
list is, are you a Scientologist? And really, that's a legit
No, for
fair
real, yeah.
question.
Right? Can you guys pull that up on the? Okay, here we go. So you can see that's Tom Cruise. He's saying it's classified. So in LA, I mean, I don't know how many Scientologists. I don't think there's a huge population of Scientologists.
Oh no, it's
There
pretty
is?
huge. I mean, Scientology they own more land, second landowner to Universal Studios in Los Angeles. Oh, absolutely.
She knows a lot of information. I don't
Absolutely.
know.
And
Are you
know,
a Scientologist?
I am not, but it's funny because the Celebrity Center isn't far from where I live. And so I see masses of people going in and out of the Celebrity Center. And it's certainly, I'm not going to comment on Scientology, but it's a legit question to ask in dating.
Right? Well, and I hear across the street from the Celebrity Center that all the singles are hanging out over there so that they can maybe meet another Scientologist.
Oh.
So yeah, it's I don't know
A
the
little
area of
covert.
town. Yeah, what area of town is that? It's
In Hollywood.
yeah. So there you go in there. And then we're not going to go through all of these, but this is so LA. So if you've ever been asked to read someone's script after a date, you're like, oh, I had the best date. And by the way, could you read my script? You just have to be,
On the table. Oh, I was just catching up on some. What are you doing?
That's
with
so
this?
funny. That happens with me a little bit too, not because I have really any vested interest in scripts, but because people know me as a celebrity life coach or love coach, then they think that I can give their script to a celebrity client of mine, but those are mostly confidential relationships. So I'm
she's
like,
oh, you're so cute. And by the way,
script.
here's my script.
yeah, it's like 5 minutes ago you hated me. Pulled up my, my
That's
Instagram
hilarious.
profile.
And we talked about logistics earlier, but if you don't have a car, that can be a serious problem if you're
Yeah.
dating in LA. I mean, your Uber bill is going to be massive.
Yes.
Actually, you'd be surprised at how many people don't have cars in Los
It's true.
Angeles. It's something I've never heard or seen or experienced.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots
Especially,
of them.
especially I think Generation X here. Right?
And also a lot of
Millennials.
the Europeans come live here.
Yes.
And they don't get cars, and
Yeah.
rightfully so, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I think is the funniest. I laughed my ass off on this one. So number 6 is if it's only permit parking by the person's house, then you're never going to. No joke. This is actually Los Angeles.
Yeah.
This is not in Los Angeles.
Yes, because in addition to needing the permit, you need like a PhD to be able to understand what the signs mean. It's like 15 signs.
There's 15 signs
Yeah.
right there.
Right?
That is so
Yes.
true.
So
That's
instead of like getting someone your house key when it's getting serious, you get them a parking permit.
because you only get 2.
That's awesome.
You only
Yeah,
get 2. That
that's
is
awesome.
so
Yeah.
serious.
Okay, so on that note, I think that we should end off early in the segment because we have 2 incredible experts in the back.
Cannot wait to talk about
Right?
it.
And so stay tuned, you guys. We're going to dive deep with 2 incredible experts in the realm of dating, relationships, and love. We're going to talk about things like how to deal with being lonely at the holidays, how to deal with stress if you're in a relationship during the holidays, and whatever other questions we come up with, okay?
Yeah, if
sounds
you've
good.
got questions, send us a direct message on Facebook, Instagram, or leave a comment on YouTube, and we'll ask the experts for you.
We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We're so excited. We've got two guest experts. We're going to be live with their interviews in just a second. Hang with us.
You can also watch us on Facebook.com because it's so much better. Though you're not going to hear very good things from me today. So
It's raspy. That's all that matters.
It's
All right,
sexy.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are talking about dating, sex, and relationships today in Hollywood. So it's all about that Friday feeling. We have two experts in the house. We have Rhonda Richards-Smith and we have Amanda Cockrell. And you guys are, I'm so happy to have you here.
Welcome to Good Morning La La Land,
Right.
our first Friday special guest. We're so excited to have you. It's really an honor.
So Amanda, you were an expert or worked for eHarmony, correct?
I did. I did matchmaking and date coaching for eHarmony.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes.
Great. And then Rhonda, you are a psychotherapist and have been considered by Match.com one of the experts.
2017, this year, Match.com named this lovely lady one of the best dating experts in the country. I don't know how you get a title like that.
Mind blowing.
I thought it was a prank call, to be honest. I wasn't even
Did
sure.
you really?
I did. I did.
What do you
Really
mean they called
exciting.
you up and they just said, we want you.
I got an email stating that the CEO had identified me as one of the top relationship experts, and they flew me to Dallas to meet with some of their analytics folks to talk about the direction of the company and where they want to go.
So how do you feel about that?
So gangster.
It's good.
Right?
It's good.
That's a lot of pressure.
It was like celebration on that one.
Yeah, for real.
Congratulations.
No, it was really exciting though. It's always exciting. I love talking about dating and relationships and innovation.
I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about with you guys, but one is that I think that the whole dating industry has changed. The industry, that was a good one. I mean, the whole dating world has changed dramatically.
Well, Erin, you bring up a good point. You just called it an industry.
It is an industry.
It is an
all
industry.
three have a living on dating.
Right?
It's true.
But it's changed so much, I would say, for sure in the last 10 years. And it's changing dramatically every year so much. So how do both of you guys see, like, where do you think it's going? I think, meaning, like, are people moving away from committed relationships? Are they, what are the trends that you're seeing? Where do you think it's going?
So, interestingly enough, just like all trends, it seems that things go one extreme way, and then people realize, okay, we went too far, and then they come back. So I've been seeing that a lot with dating, online dating. So at first it was just, let's just stay online, no one was meeting up, and it just became anti-dating. We just were talking online and no one was meeting up. So with my clients, what I told them, and they pretty much all agree, is get offline as soon as possible. So introduce yourself, great, but don't spend a month chatting. Just try to meet up. And I've been seeing that trend where people are tired of online, so they're trying to meet up as soon as possible. So it's sort of gone back a little bit.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so nice to hear because I think people love it's so beneficial, the online thing. But I just feel so much of a deeper connection when I'm not online, right? So it's a great way to initiate something. But if you want to take it beyond that, it's good
Get
to-
offline.
yeah, get
And there's some
offline.
dating apps that have actually been created that consider that component. So you can only have a certain number of interactions online, and you have to meet in person. And they'll actually plan the location for you.
Wow.
The time that
And
you're
it's so
available.
true. It's like
So it kind of forces you.
Yeah, it's like the goal is actually to just get the actual date.
But is it the goal? Because I think sometimes people feel more comfortable just having a companion online and talking to them so they don't feel alone. Like, are they really pulling for a relationship?
Well, that's the key. I think it's really making sure that you're ready for a relationship because I think so many people want to be ready, but there's a lot of internal work that you have to do first before you really know.
I always call it like the, it seems like people want a relationship, but they only want the good parts of a relationship. It's like, it's not just about all the, if you just want that, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you're only looking for the good times. It just doesn't, it's not a real relationship, right?
Always the peaks and not the valleys.
Yeah, right? So where do you see the industry going?
I think that part of why it's so important when you're looking at online dating specifically, you get to pick out all the great parts, like you said. So you want someone that has a particular job, who lives in a particular area, right? What we were mentioning earlier. But you eliminate so many people along the way when you do that. And what I've noticed is that so many people will have a list of exactly what it is that they think they're looking for, but when you look at the behavior of who they're actually attracted to or pairing with, it's nothing like the person that's on paper, ever. So I think it's about getting clear about what you want, not what other people think you should want or what society says, but what really works for you. Being honest with yourself, you're gonna have a lot more success and a lot less self-sabotage.
But do you think dating in Los Angeles is exceptionally harder? I do.
Yes, yes.
Why do you say that?
The landscape is really different in Los Angeles. Obviously, we have the entertainment industry, which is huge here. And so people are really caught up in the facade. So they're caught up in presenting a particular way.
It's all smoke and mirrors in La La Land.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So, you know, you can be in love with that piece, but you're not really getting to know the actual person.
So is that kind of like being in love with the ideal or the idea of what the relationship is as opposed to the actual?
Jeslyn? Who said we're an expert? Dropping dimes.
Experience. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they call it in sex and love addiction. It's an AA 12 step. It's called a fantasy addict. That they're in love. They fall in love with this romanticism and the facade of what that person is and what the relationship is, instead of the reality of what.
I think I have to rename that. That sounds hot. It sounds like I want to be that fantasy addict. I'm in.
Yeah.
How am I not?
No, what we call that is ego.
There's
That's
so
the psychology.
That ego.
And we
Gets
were,
me every
you
time.
know, I was just having a conversation last night actually, and the biggest problem with dating is yourself. It's not the people around you that are all screwed up. Dating in LA is not that hard.
It's so much easier to put the blame on them, though.
It's so much easier to put the blame on them.
So true.
But guess what? We tend to date out of ego, out of pride. What looks good. It's not a coincidence that it's such a cliche that 6-year-old men are looking at 20, 30-year-old women. It's not because they have more in common. It's not because there's going to be bigger sparks. It's because they're going to look cool in front of their buddies.
So I have a question for you guys. So I consider my friends that have done their work, they're like awake versus not awake. And whether they're in relationship or not, what I find is that my awake friends know their triggers. They know what they project into relationship. They know their dark, their shadow side. Versus my friends who are not awake, they do their reactions and they're always pointing the fingers. They never go, oh, here's my crap again, here it comes, right? So how would you recommend for someone who's out there dating, how do I know if someone's done their work or not? Like, I mean, I know how I would do that, but I'm curious to know from your perspectives, you know, what you would recommend for people to kind of weed through that and get to that early on. Like, have they done their inner work?
Sure. Well, I think one thing that I always look for personally and with, you know, that I recommend to my clients is see how people treat other people, first of all, and see how they talk about other people.
Totally.
If you're going to go out on a date and you're already with someone who's just talking bad about other people or gossiping a lot, etc., that to me is a big key indicator that they're focused more on putting the blame on other people.
Totally, completely.
And not looking at
how do they talk about their exes? If they're like, oh, it was a victim story, you're like,
Right.
oh yeah, we know they've not done their work.
Or about how they talk about themselves.
Right.
And also the amount of the time that people spend, like how they spend their time, what their behavior looks like. So if they never have time for themselves to reflect, if there's someone who's always busy, chances are they having a lot of time to reflect, to do some self-reflection, to kind of check themselves out, check themselves, see where they're at. So the behaviors will tell you quite a bit.
I love that.
And how they treat you. Guess what? The people that I've typically found that have done a lot of work often are very interested in you. You can tell they're genuinely interested. They want to know more, and they're not just trying to chit-chat. They actually are interested, and I think that for me is a, you know, huge key.
Well, you brought up a really interesting comment or concept about doing their work. And if you're not in Los Angeles right now or living this La La Land life, you might not understand what doing their work really means.
Do work. Do work.
That's so LA. So what is their work? What are you referring to?
It's like, what is this thing called work?
What am I supposed to be doing that I'm not doing?
Yeah.
I think taking time for yourself, I think, and I think growing up in childhood, I don't know that that's something that we always learn growing up, what that looks like. Taking time for yourself, taking quiet time for yourself to reflect. We get so many different messages from the media, from our friends, from our family, and sometimes the messages are really well-meaning, right? But at some point, sometimes it's hard to sort out, okay, what are my own thoughts versus what are her thoughts versus my mother's thoughts.
Love that.
You have to be present enough to be able to kind of silence the noise and really get centered with yourself on what you think and how you feel. And once you do that, you're always going to have more success in everything.
So when did you do that? Because you obviously did it early to now be the expert in 2017.
Well, in my graduate program for my master's, we had to go to therapy. So part of becoming a therapist is that you have to go to therapy yourself for my program.
Such a great topic. We actually have to take a little break, but I'm loving this conversation. It's so important. So when we come back, what I want to know is how does someone take that break? Should they take it between relationship? Have they actually had some time to not take? Maybe that's the best plan for dating. So when we come back, we're going to learn more about that, and then also how to deal with being lonely during the holidays, or if you're in a relationship, how do you deal with stress in a relationship? Okay, so stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back. And we're back. Good morning, La La Land, talking about dating, love, and relationships. And no, we have so many experts here today, but what's the question you want to ask?
I've got so many questions for these lovely ladies. The one question I actually want to ask personally is, have you found what you do to be a hurdle in dating itself, right? So you're dating experts. Does it get in the way of actually dating and meeting people and connecting with people? Do people expect you to be perfect?
People definitely expect me to be perfect, and I usually disappoint them. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, crush that expectation right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily for dating, I don't have that issue because I've been married for 14 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. However, you know, if we're having an argument or something comes up, my husband will quickly say, well, that doesn't sound like what a dating and relationship expert should say. That doesn't sound like...
Burn!
Really?
Yeah.
So that's like his little go-to dig. But but I think in terms of connecting with people, whenever they hear what I do, it's like, oh, I have so many questions for you, or I need to send my ex to come and see you.
Certainly.
Your ex, that's the best.
People instantly want to be your friend, especially if they're single, because it's like, oh, I could have a lot to gain from this.
Lots of questions.
What about you?
Yes, I would say that people are very interested at first. I also used to be a clinical therapist, so now I'm doing more coaching, but that's my background. So as soon as people find out that you do therapy or date coaching, they're so interested. So it sort of depends on the kind of night I'm having. I usually, if I just want to keep quiet and not talk to people, I usually just omit that part.
That's the best thing to do.
I don't say anything because people are so interested. It's kind of a niche little field, and they do expect you to know everything. So they right away will ask you crazy questions where you're like, I've never thought of that. I don't know. I'm just eating spaghetti.
Right.
I'm just eating spaghetti.
It's so funny. I used to tell people when they would ask me, what do you do? And I would try to sort of skirt the issue and ultimately just say, I won a lottery. I'm a lottery winner. Because, yes, I just had to turn it into a joke because I knew otherwise it's a hurdle. You either get talking about things like dating and relationships, and then it just becomes kind of weird because they
he shows up in this great outfit. He's like, I'm a dating expert. He's like, I'm screwed.
No, but I think if he told me he won the lottery, I'd be more interested in him than being
But that's also I
know that could backfire.
Yeah,
exactly.
So then on date number 3, you're like, by the way,
Yeah.
pottery. I have to work for a living.
Yes.
And this is what I do.
So I have a question regarding the holidays. So I believe that whether you're dating, in a relationship, or married, you still deal with the same things. You still deal with having to communicate. You still deal with having to court and, you know, bring the romance. All the things the dynamics stay the same, really. So during the holidays, you know, a lot of people deal with loneliness. In fact, 1 out of 5 Americans are kind of lonely all the time. They say that about 75% of the population becomes lonely at some point in the week, and the holidays, we know, gets even worse. So what do you recommend for people, whether you're in a marriage, because you're going to be lonely in a marriage? What do you guys say as dating experts? Because really it's about the psychology behind all this. What would you recommend for people?
I think there are definitely some difficult emotions that can come about, obviously, through the holiday season, particularly if you experience some kind of trauma as a child, if you lost someone during the holiday season. Sometimes those issues will come up year after year around the same time. So what I typically suggest is that people kind of create their own new traditions, so that way you're not kind of replaying in your mind what happened years ago at that time of year. You kind of create your own traditions, your own activities.
But how soon is it okay to create your own traditions with somebody?
Oh, as soon as you feel comfortable doing so.
Date number 3, we've got a new holiday tradition?
Oh no, not during the dating process.
Oh, okay.
No, not during the dating process. I mean, I think it depends on how long you've been together and how the both of you feel about the holidays. Now, if you have a partner who isn't that jazzed about the holidays per se, it might look a little different versus someone who's really pro Christmas or pro Hanukkah, and they have a lot of activities that they want to incorporate you in. So it really depends on where you're at in terms of how you want to celebrate the holidays. How they want to celebrate the holidays, kind of coming to a happy medium. Yeah,
Some people don't want to even talk about it. Let's just pretend that we going to get presents, not presents? What do we do? Like, why don't you just talk about it?
How much money do we have to spend on each other?
Yeah,
Do you come to my family's? Do I go to yours? I mean, like, navigating that outside of being in a committed, you know, marriage, but when you're just dating, is super weird during the holidays.
Yeah. So I just changed my number. Right before the holiday, I changed my number, contact information, and I'm back online again January 1st. So time for the new starters. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's such a good question because the holidays and Christmas particularly has the highest rates of suicide.
Yeah, right.
It's really kind of a tragic thing. I think that if anyone's starting to feel sort of lonely, which we know obviously a lot of people do, I think the best thing you can do is sort of de-emphasize the meaning and just rationalize it, knowing that it is a commercial holiday, and sort of distancing yourself from the emotional aspect of the holidays, which sounds kind of like a downer. But the other thing I recommend too to people that are feeling that way, maybe that don't have a lot of family, that have maybe lost a lot of people, or that have just a very dysfunctional family that they maybe don't want to spend time with, or they're single, start making your own little community.
Right.
Maybe join support groups. Build up a different network that maybe will take away the pressure of the holidays, and that'll focus more on some type of healing, because you're obviously dealing with
so
a
much
lot.
better advice than I would give. I'm using like adult videos, crash other people's parties. It's fine. Yeah, eat as much as you can. Emotional eating.
Is great for the holiday season as well. And
Get away.
tying in with that, just get away. Go somewhere else where maybe the holidays aren't as big of an emphasis.
I love that.
Awesome.
Distraction is healthy.
That's awesome.
Knowing that there's always a solution. If you're feeling a certain way and you are the type of person that you brought up earlier that can be introspective and that's doing work, try to figure out what's triggering you and try to find ways around working towards not feeling that way.
Self-awareness.
There's always ways around it.
Yeah. And so during the holidays, let's just pretend someone's just on their 2nd, 3rd date or something like that. And Christmas, do you buy? What do you guys think? I mean, because I think it's individual. Everyone has their decision of what works for them, not. But what do you guys think as far as dating? Should somebody get somebody a present or not? Or what level do you think that that's at in the realm of dating and Christmas?
I don't think it's something that should be forced, because when you're giving gifts, it really needs to be genuine. So depending on how your dates have been spaced out, if you guys have been together for several months, you feel a strong connection with them, then I would say sure, give. But it's really the thought that counts. So if you're just worried about the semantics of is it appropriate for me to give a gift or not, maybe that's not the right time.
I'll never forget my roommate a couple of years ago, before she had just started this relationship, and I was the middleman in this gift exchange. And he had come to me and he said, you know, I'm going to get her this Prada purse. She had her eye on it and I was so excited. And then she came to me and said, I got him a grill set. And I said, a grill set? Like, you bought him a grill? She goes, no, tools, like a barbecue set. It was like $20 at Target. And I was like, you're going to need to try again. And so she came back with another idea and I was like, no, keep trying. You're going to need a Prada purse. Like, you're going to have to keep trying. And she ended up making this beautiful painting for him. It was so thoughtful. But it's really interesting because she was in a totally different headspace than he was in that. And if they wouldn't have had me, the little like magic elf in that situation, that could have gone really wrong.
It just brings us to a conversation about love languages, though, right?
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. So what do you guys feel about that? I mean, some folks, everybody expresses their love differently, right? And I know that personally, I'm more sort of words of affirmation. You know, some folks are more gift oriented, but you know, how do you deal with that, particularly in the initial stages of dating? When you don't know someone's love language, is there a way to figure it out? Or is there a way to sort of meet someone halfway so that you don't end up in that situation where you bought a $1,000, Prada bag and he Well, I'm trying to be easy about it, but yeah.
It's tough. I mean, I think that love languages, that takes such a long time. I know for myself and my husband, it took us a long time to figure out, oh, this is your love language and this is mine. He loves, the tasks, so doing things for him, he loves that. He could do a million things for me. Does nothing for me.
So funny,
Does
right?
nothing. I like gifts.
I
like gifts. Completely different.
So we have to take another break, you guys. So we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna have you guys in on the final segment. We don't normally do that, but this is such an important topic with love and dating and relationship in the holidays. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. Good morning, La La Land, with segment on dating, love, and relationship. Every Friday, we're going to be talking about this topic. And so I want to know, and so many people want to know, we've come to the decision that we want to know how to meet people offline. That is the question of the hour, right?
Especially here in Los Angeles. Where do you go?
I think people are creatures of habit, so everyone wants to go to the same places that they've been going for years, with the same people that they've been going out with. So I would encourage people to go out a little bit more on their own. Going out with friends is nice, and it's nice to socialize with our friends, obviously, but when you're trying to meet someone, it's a little easier when you have a smaller group, maybe one other person, or maybe by yourself, and going somewhere completely different. Maybe venturing outside of your city, heaven forbid, in LA, right? Venturing a little ways outside of your actual neighborhood, so you can actually meet someone different versus the same 100 people that you're running into again and again.
I just go put on like high heels and go into the grocery store, and I'm like, what? I can't reach that up there.
How do you feel about this cantaloupe?
Great place to meet people. Grocery store is a great place.
Hey, I've gone out with people that I've met at Whole Foods. I think it's again about doing a lot of inner work. So if you're going out and you seem available and approachable, people will talk to you. Going out alone is fantastic. I know it's kind of weird. I'm not saying go to, catch by yourself or, somewhere maybe that's not as appropriate, but hey, whatever. I mean, you could even do that. There's no rules. You can go anywhere, and the more available you are, the more people are going to come talk to you. I meet people out anywhere, at the gym, Whole Foods,
hotel bars
on the street, literally walking on the street.
It's interesting you say that because a lot of my celebrity clients actually go out by themselves all the time.
Yeah.
They take themselves to movies, they go to dinners, literally. So it's really great advice.
But if I'm going out by myself as a girl, I'm definitely not going to go talk to a guy. Let's be honest. I do not feel comfortable with that. If you want to come talk to me, fantastic. I'm definitely not going to go talk to you.
Good question. So what would a woman that does want to talk to a guy, or a guy that wants to talk to someone?
Or how do I just get comfortable enough to do that?
I think you have to at least position yourself physically for them to be able to reach you. You can't sit somewhere way in the corner where they're never going to be able to see you or reach you. Sit at the bar where everyone is seated, so you're by yourself, but there are other people around, there's conversation. So you're really making yourself available. And I think when you sit at the hotel bar, it also demonstrates that you are open to conversation.
I think holidays are good for that. To go to a friend's holiday party gets you into a completely different community. But that's why I like online dating, because I don't want to be hit on by some stranger.
What? I thought you were just at the grocery store reaching for a turkey dressed like this.
All the guys out there are like, see, this is my problem. How do I deal? Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly. Is it at the
Saturday she
grocery
was a
store?
freak, and Sunday she's avoiding me like a plague.
Okay, so I have to say something and address what you're talking about. I used to feel exactly the same way until I started doing my job, and I realized I am so getting in my own way. The way I do that with approaching guys, or that I recommend my female clients to go talk to guys, you don't have to go and talk to guys as in you're going to flirt with them. Humor is always good.
See, improv. You got to take the improv.
If you're at the grocery store, say something funny about the tofu. I don't know, something, you know.
Oh my God, I'm the queen of the joke falls flat. So I think I'm funny, and then I say something, and people are like, was that a joke? I was like, I tried,
but you gotta try. And you gotta not be afraid of looking a little silly, because guess what? Maybe you will look a little silly a couple times. But maybe on the 5th time, you're going to meet someone who's totally awesome and who maybe wasn't paying attention.
And actually thinks I'm funny.
Actually thinks you're funny. And next thing you know, you're going out.
And in my experience, and I could be wrong, but with most guys are used to approaching women. And so they're compassionate generally when a woman approaches them. They know how big a deal it was for you to say anything to them at all. So they're usually, pretty forgiving that way if you say even the silliest thing.
Do women hit on you often, Rob?
All the time. That's exhausting. It is exhausting. Not at all. Not at all. The funny thing is with me, I never even feel that a woman's hitting on me, even if she is. I'm just connecting. I'm like, it's just fun for me. I don't think of it that way at all. I don't think there's anything particularly special about me that would make her feel that way. I mean, I see my own beauty, but that's in the same way that I see everybody else's beauty. It's not anything different.
Clearly, you've done your work, Rob.
Right.
Came the hard way.
So we only have a few minutes left. Any other tips or things for the holidays for dating? What would you recommend for last little bit for people out there?
I would say, during holiday time, depending on where you're at in the dating process, you always want to keep in mind it's tough when it's a new relationship, but you do have to have some element of vulnerability in order to really make a relationship work. So it's common for walls to be up in the beginning, but you have to be willing to let those walls down over time.
Right.
And if not, then that's some more of that inner work that you have to do.
One of my favorite sort of quotes is from A Course in Miracles, where it says, "In my defenselessness lies my safety and power." Right?
Oh, that's so cute. You need an
affirmation
affirmation
every
of the
now and
day.
then. I give it to you straight every now and then.
I would say, lighten up. Have a little bit of fun. I always recommend, especially the first few dates, do something active, because you want to get those good chemicals going on in your brain. That's a bonding chemical as well. So taking it less seriously, not that dating is not serious, but going with a less serious approach, I found has just worked miracles. Go ice skating, go bowling, do something fun.
Great.
Don't feel like you have to go sit in a stuffy restaurant and be stuck with another person. Be outdoors. Good for the brain, it'll bond you, and it's light.
Nice. Nice. So how can people find you? What are your handles?
I'm on Instagram. I'm Amanda_Cockrell.
You can find me across all social media platforms at Rhonda Smith LCSW.
And so can people work with you directly? one-on-one?
I'm actually launching a group coaching series in the first half of the year, so that'll be coming soon.
That's exciting.
Yeah, really exciting.
Love it.
So, yeah.
So find these ladies online.
Also doing the same thing, but I do one-on-one coaching as well. Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to say that we've had the most amazing first week on Good Morning La La Land. I wanted to say thanks so much to Jazz and Rob. So amazing. And just to recap just a minute, tell them about the week and the themes of the week.
Sure. Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
We've got Motivational Mondays.
Yeah, and
right?
Transformation Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got a really great program on wealth and
Wisdom.
careers. Thursday, Thought
Thursday.
Thursdays. And Friday, of course, like you saw here.
Feeling Fridays, Freaky Fridays.
Love and relationships, because we have two incredible experts here in the house at Good Morning La La Land, Dr. Aaron and at Rob Mack Official on Instagram. And it's just been an incredible opportunity, I can say personally myself, in working with you and learning and absorbing and being a part of this. And it's been such an honor to get to know you ladies. I'm sure you're going to come back in. Maybe I'll go to your courses. Let you know how that's going. But it's been an incredible week, a historical week here at Focus TV. Monday through Friday, we went live at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we are the first daily live streaming lifestyle talk show in the country. We are here in Los Angeles, and we want to be a part of your community. This is a show for LA, about LA.
Yeah, and we're bringing consciousness, wellness, lifestyle, positivity to the current events and having topics and takeaways, experts, interviews, and all the above. So I just want to say thank you guys for showing up for yourself and for us as a community, and I'm so honored to be here. So thanks, you guys. I'm just so happy. Celebration of the first week, so
absolutely.
It's a good day in La La Land.
It's going to be a good day, La La Land.
Bye, you guys.